Kickoff only moments away here at the Cotton Bowl. It's Dallas-Trinity-fc and Tampa Bay Sun FC. Starting lineups coming to you now, and starting lineups are presented by Scottish Rite for Children. Every child deserves the best start, a strong finish in life and in sports. And as the official pediatric partner of the Dallas-Trinity-fc, Scottish Rite for Children is here to make that happen. World-class pediatric and sports medicine care. And Renee, the starting 11 for Dallas, the home side. It's Wisner getting the armband in a group that has plenty to offer in all phases of play.
Yes, a couple of changes in the Dallas lineup. Caroline Swan out, the teenage phenom, as just giving her some rest. Chioma Bogogu back in the lineup after not starting the last two games. And then with center back Lauren Flynn out due to a leg injury, Hannah Davison gets to start this game, as well as Tyler McCamey still in net and some other players in their usual spots to start off this game.
For Denise Schulte-Brown, no changes to the 11 that was victorious against DC Power. The armband will be with Jordan Listro.
Exactly, the exact same 11 that won that game last Thursday. Faith Weber, Sydney Nacello, Manny Picorni up top. And then, as you mentioned, with Listro in the midfield, they also have Emery Wegner in net, as well as the usual 11 from last outing, hoping to continue that same momentum into this match.
Tonight's match at the Cotton Bowl features a World Cup preview theme, celebrating the global game and the building excitement for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with Dallas set to host 9 matches. The 9th highlights the city's commitment to their role on the world stage and the growing energy around the tournaments. Stars and stripes across the venue on a spring night in the state of Texas. Tampa Bay Sun, they feel the urgency. Dallas Trinity pressing on towards their goals in the postseason. Sean Tahini is the center official. She will send us in motion here today. And we are up and underway. Dallas Trinity up against the side that knocked them out of the playoffs a year ago. Tampa Bay Sun trying to figure out how they can resemble that exact same side they have been looking for all season long. Once more with Renee Washington, I'm Peyton Geller, excited to bring this to you. Lone action here on this Tuesday night to commence the match week in the Gamebridge Super League.
It is interesting this time of year, just as you're watching how teams are continuing to develop, the different storylines, the different trends. I mean, this is a Dallas team. They've been winless in their last 3, but they've also gone unbeaten in 10 of their last 12 league matches because of the amount of ties they've had. So depending on how you look at things, you can say the same about Tampa Bay, about their incredible win on Thursday, but they're also a team still at the bottom of the standing. So perspective is everything of who's trending in the right direction.
Swept up at the back by Wisner. And if we are to take the immediate snapshot, of the most recent results for these two teams, as you get a good look at Nathan Thackeray, the new man in charge for Dallas Trinity, finding his feet. Tampa Bay coming off one of their best performances of the year, and Nathan Thackeray not very happy with how his team frankly capitulated, losing 4-0 against Sporting Jacks their last time out at home.
Well, that's another thing that was completely opposite, and being on that Tampa Bay broadcast, they put together a complete game from start to finish. The 2-0 win was not a fluke. They came out as the better team, as the more aggressive team, playing on the front foot, creating, and also just doing a better job of being composed in the attacking third, and that showed tremendously in their result, whereas for Dallas, they were caught flat, and to give up 2 late goals at the end of the first half and end up losing 4-0, a team that beat them by a 4-goal margin in Sporting Jacks early this season. Not a good result for them, and an absolute wake-up call as well, as they haven't been a team that's given up that many goals, but definitely at this point of the season, they felt like that was a hiccup of a combination of things that we can dive into later.
Dallas coming off back-to-back games in which they've conceded multiple goals. Hadn't done that only one time in the 9 preceding it. Denise Schulte-Brown trying to figure out the answers on the other side of this coin for Tampa Bay Sun. That championship charge a year ago, raising the inaugural banner in the Gamebridge Super League, but hit by a plague of injuries this year and a lot of turnover with the group. Just trying to, at this point in time, understand what the best 11 is and how to platform those players the best she can. Felt like she may have cracked something of a code, though, this last game.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for Tampa Bay. They've got the belief, and even with their winless struggles that they've had throughout the course of this season, that's never wavered. They've continued to stay bought in. They've also recognized that there's been a couple of differences here and there. That's been the difference between being a team that's at the bottom of the table versus higher up. And it just felt like a culmination of all the hard work and effort of what they've been putting together that came into full display. And to be honest, they felt like that was who they are. It wasn't a surprise. The goals, the performance were not a surprise. It was just finally being able to put the full product on display for 90 minutes.
Conversation with Coach Schulte Brown. She really didn't have anything in her demeanor that would indicate that there have been struggles this year. Talked about how the culture hasn't wavered at all, even with all the new additions and all the things that her staff are doing to drive that, but also the players in the locker room. And she feels like, yeah, maybe get a second one in a row here and start to look at the whole big picture. Maybe the mentality changes a little bit, at least from the outside looking in on this program about what they might be capable of.
Yes, and Coach Schulte Brown actually had that same optimism before they even beat DC Power 2-0. Coming off of a 3-0 loss to Brooklyn, a 1-0 loss to Carolina Ascent, and they were going into that DC Power game, and you would think they had won 2 games in a row. They just had the belief. When you look at their last 5 matches there, 2 wins, 2 losses, a draw, yet they came into that DC Power game with the confidence and swagger of a top team, and I think that also is something that shows and speaks volumes to what they're building, their culture, but recognizing also bigger picture. 1 win is great, but 1 win is not enough with the amount of work they have to do to close the gap and make a real push for the playoffs.
Wisner on the ball, making her 50th appearance for Dallas Trinity today, and on this occasion playing one with too much gusto for Cameron Lancaster out for a throw. Player that Nathan Thackeray was very optimistic about as she makes today what will be her 5th start in the last 6 games.
Dallas is a very confusing team, honestly, because we saw the 4-0 loss to Sporting Jacks. We've seen them lose 6-1 to Lexington, 4-1 to Fort Lauderdale, but we've also seen them win big, including a 4-0 win themselves over Fort Lauderdale. They've fluctuated. I know we highlighted it in the open around just the goal differential, but they're also a team that truly is by committee. They don't have that one person that's leading them in goals. It's everybody chipping in and contributing, and I think that's kind of made it tough at times of figuring out in those big moments who is the player to rally around when they need to make big plays or have those big game-defining moments.
Something Nathan Thackeray is certainly thinking about as he starts to lay down those first phases of the project that he's trying to build here. Tonight's injury report is brought to you by UT Southwestern, the official healthcare partner of Dallas Trinity-FC, and we already touched on how much Tampa has had to deal with in that department. Dallas a little bit beaten up as well. Absences in the shape of Lauren Flynn, as well as Sydney Cheeseman.
This is that next player up part of the season that's on full display of who's built the depth and also has kept their players that maybe don't often start ready.
Lancaster trying to seize her opportunity and shipping it across. Easy catch for Emery Wagner.
I want to resume that thought, so I wanted to see what Lancaster was going to do with that service. A good example, this front line has seen some changes for Dallas. Cameron Lancaster, working in a player like Bethany Boss, that's been one of those new faces. We talked about Chioma Bogogu as well, in and out of the starting lineup. It's also very important that as coaches and as a team, you're keeping everybody bought in and ready. So that when your name is called, you can step in, whether it's as a starter, off the bench, whatever that role may be, to help your team be successful. And I think this is also that time that kind of tests who's been keeping everybody firing on all cylinders and ready to help win games.
I think maybe Hannah Davidson, a prime example of that here today. Getting back into the starting 11, filling in for Lauren Flynn, who had come into this program and with her previous pedigree, Flynn talking about here, pretty much instantaneously took ownership of that center back spot. Davison with on the year 14 starts, has been the deputy as of late, but she steps into the 11 today, and her manager was really pleased with how she had trained over the preparation period for this match. Rolled in and blocked out at the near post. Guidry from deep. And we'll hop out for a goal kick.
And now we've seen a couple of those plays, Peyton, with the wide services that have just sailed out of a playable spot, hitting it too hard, not finding a teammate. It was Gidju that time. It was Lancaster on a previous service as well. So that final third execution, also already something that Dallas has to do. As you take a look at this again, a great feed back into Gidju, gets her head up. You do have numbers in the box. You have them in position. Now can we get on the same page with the run and the service?
It is an interesting development in the early going. Dallas, so far this year, have had the fewest open play crosses in the division by a wide margin, least by 25, but pumping them in the first 10 minutes.
Yes, I think that's one of those areas that they just want to be a bit more clinical on. I know they want to make sure that they're doing a better job of, first of all, just hitting the reset button altogether is something that Nathan Thackeray spoke about with us, but just going into this game a bit more aggressive, knowing that maybe the way that they've been defended in recent games has caused them problems, but now they want to figure out how can they move off the ball, create those gaps, unbalance their opponent to be able to set up for opportunities like we've seen so far.
Well, maybe to that point, and returning to the earlier one you made about finding those marquee players. This play has stopped here for a moment. Bethany Boss just brought into the team. A number 9 that can do damage as that fox in the box type of role. They haven't had that. So maybe the crossing approach is a little bit more effective now for Dallas than it has been.
And Dallas is a top team in terms of head ball goals. I mean, this is a group that does great on flank services, dangerous in the air. So that is one of the strong points of their attack. And listen, if you have a key area that works for you, stick to it. Don't change it. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But I do feel like for Dallas, they are trying to figure out tactically how they can make some of those improvements, because they have noticed a shift in how teams are defending them and making it difficult for them to even combine, break down, get into those wide pockets to generate the services.
Nathan Thackeray was not shy to volunteer that when talking to us. He said that he had noticed pretty explicitly that a lot of teams were marking them man for man, even teams that don't typically do that. And it looks like that's what we're seeing so far.
And honestly, sometimes it works just because it now makes it 11 individual battles around the pitch that you now have to put the ownership and accountability on each player. You win your individual battle, we win this game. So be better than your opponent that you're matched up with in that man-to-man situation.
Another thing that it does is invite a higher level of physicality with tighter spaces, and we see a quick foul. Sean Tahini, one of the league's best referees, making the call.
And this game so far has started off for Tampa, especially Tampa Bay, a lot more just kind of sitting back and trying to weather a little bit of what Dallas is throwing their way. They haven't really generated much in terms of possession or getting forward. It's been a lot more just directed by Dallas currently. So we'll see if maybe they're able to impose their will, because this is a very different start than they had against DC Power.
Snapped up in the mid-park and rolled along. This is Faith Weber on the prowl, having a hit, blocked out for a corner.
Well, ask and you shall receive. The offense for Tampa Bay needed to get going, so why not get going through two of your best playmakers? Sidney Nacello springs it wide to Faith Weber, who does a good job. This is what she does well, able to drift into pockets, pulls off her defender to create that separation, and then as Hannah Davison's closing her down, does get the opportunity to set up for a corner kick. So I was just mentioning Tampa Bay needed to get something going, and Nacello and Weber able to be the 1-2 punch behind that.
Corner kick coming. There's a corner presented by Cornerstone Capital Bank, and it will be an opportunity for Tampa Bay to get some early credit here in this match at the Cotton Bowl. Seeing to it does not go very far. Some sturdy defending from the Trinity. At the end line. Dallas-Trinity-fc fans can stay connected all season long by signing up for the club's newsletter for breaking news, special offers, and exclusive updates during year 2 of the Gamebridge Super League. Scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe now.
Tampa Bay not afraid to go short on their corner kicks. That's actually what led to Faith Weber's goal to open up the scoring for them versus DC Power, and some other good looks.
And they're pressing like banshees to get the ball back. Thoughts of a cross. Plotted off path by Dallas. Outside really bringing the fight, though, to Dallas Trinity in the early going. We'll see if they can continue with that kind of intensity throughout the course of the game.
You just see the pressure that they are bringing, making it difficult for Dallas to be able to break forward into the attack, swarming with the yellow jerseys. I think now Dallas has found an opening through finding Lancaster out wide.
Linking with Missimo. In for Boss. Bogagu was waiting for it, never got there. Chioma Bogagu back in the starting 11 today after coming off the bench in the last 2 matches. She presses in. Just jabbed back by Tampa Bay's Sun, enduring more and more pressure. The Trinity side that have had a couple false starts. It looked like it was maybe starting to turn for them. Looked like they had a 3-point result against Lexington, cinched up here in this ground not too long ago. Kat Berry getting the late equalizer, and then at the end of a long stretch of games in quick succession, get hammered by Sporting Jacks, and that kind of undoes some of the momentum that Dallas were building. So curious to see how they respond after the long layoff today.
And they needed that long layoff. That is the key to it. And that's something that Nathan Thackeray spoke to us about. It just was a combination of them getting sniped by fatigue. They, it caught up to them essentially that they played the top 2 teams in 3 games. And the previous teams had, each team in Sporting Jacks especially had 10 days off, 8 days off, whereas they were playing, 2 days back-to-back pretty quickly, pretty much. So essentially, that fatigue in itself catches up to you. They are dealing with injuries, which catches up to you. And this time in this season just catches up to you because you are starting to have the wear and the pressure knowing the postseason is lingering as well. So I think for them to have had a nice break since that Sporting Jacks game, I mean, that feels like an eternity ago, I'm sure, for them. But at this point, that March 22nd day to now, a nice solid break, almost a full 10 days off they were able to get in comparison to the 4 days they had in between Lexington and Sporting Jacks.
Lofted over the top. Today's match, what is the 3rd in a span of 4 consecutive home matches for Dallas Trinity. We'll open the gates to Spokane up next. And as Colin McCamey grabs the ball, Dallas start to build. At least with the quick succession of matches, they haven't had to travel.
And I wanted to double check my math, but it was 3 games within 10 days in comparison to their opponents that had about 8 to 10 days off between games.
Shifting wide for Lancaster, a softening first touch from her. Well contested by Sabrina McNeil. Guidry joining up. Nobody's home. Goalkeeper Wagner arriving on the scene, coming off performance last time out, in which she set her career high for saves with 4.
Well, good for Emery Wagner to be aggressive off her line, knowing that Dallas does like to get those flank services in. As a keeper and even as a backline, you have to stay very alert and aware to be ready to cut down any of those wide services.
Churning forward.
We see for the Sun, Sydney Nacello especially, just drifting all over the pitch, dropping back into the midfield to find the ball, just kind of changing up their look and their shape a bit at times. So it's not always her up higher, but you do have other players, whether it's Maddie Pokorny or Faith Weber or even Gabby Provenzano, different players kind of fluctuating in the runs they're making off of her. So just a bit more interchanging for Tampa Bay.
A team that's looking to maybe keep the ball on the floor a little bit, at least more than they have, and that ball is a Select Ball, the official match ball supplier of the Gamebridge Super League, many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com. The latest Select products, specials, and more. Selects, player's choice. Listro.
Good pressure again by Tampa Bay. That is something that's been helping them offensively. It just starts on the defensive side to get tight to their players, forcing turnovers and mistakes that allow them to regain possession. And I think when you look back at even that DC game and so far the start of today, that's been a consistent area they've been building, as well as how they're pressing as a unit, not just going with one or two, but stepping together to make the field compact and win the ball back.
Fleet of foot, Ubogagu racing towards the end line and rocking it across. Saw Bosch trying to time up the run to arrive fashionably late, but it's out for a corner.
This is why Chioma Bogugu's back in the starting lineup. She's been showing well in any role for this team, whether off the bench or starting, and they needed a spark. They needed a change, and when you have a playmaker like Chioma Bogugu, we highlighted her in the open for all the chances she can create. Look at her going 1v1, just able to do a little hesitation there to create some separation and space against Victoria Haugen, and had some numbers in the box. Now sets up for another corner for Dallas.
It is a Cornerstone Capital Bank corner kick. Dallas have been toward the top of the league in this department. 5 corner kick goals on the year, 3rd best in the Cambridge Super League. It's another useful delivery. Last-ditch defending provided by the Sun. And it will be another corner kick, this time from the near flag.
That's what you don't want to do against a team that is great in the air, the way that Dallas is, as one of the top teams, as we talked about, scoring ball, any sort of services, using their head, great in the air, and you've given them now back-to-back corners, a chance to get their playmakers in the box to see what they can do with it.
It is a Cornerstone Capital Bank corner kick. Chioma Ubogagu playing short, the team's leader in assists. Had one against Tampa Bay in the earlier meeting this season, but this ball is a little bit biteless. It's because it took a deflection, another corner.
Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. My goodness, 3 corner kicks. Now, they say third one's a charm sometimes. We'll see. We've seen them play both into the box. They haven't gotten into a good enough space to clear that first Tampa Bay defender. Can this one be more dangerous and threatening?
Is this an X or an O? Cornerstone Capital Bank corner. Decent ball. Hooked at target and always too much air underneath it. Goal kick to come. Gear up for year 2 and rep Dallas-Trinity-FC with the latest kit, scarves, and merch, including the newly released Trinity Flair collection. Visit shop.dallas-trinity-fc.com to grab yours and show your colors all season long.
Well, not only are we getting a stoppage for some shoes being tied, but as Captain Jordan Listrow is talking things over, just also double checking things on Haugen, who seemed to kind of take a knee for a moment. Not sure what happened there, but we'll keep an eye on her.
Back-to-back starts for Haugen after being an unused sub in the 3 prior matches. There's something to be said for match fitness and the speed of play. It's one thing to be fit and ready to go in training and have that level of stamina, but in a live match setting, no matter who you are, if you've not been participating in the actual 90 minutes, it can take a second maybe to find yourself back up at that clip.
Yeah, it's always tricky. Listen, everybody always talks about being ready when your name is called, but it's just as difficult physically as it is mentally to go from one role to the next, whether it's more minutes, more endurance, more pressure. There's a lot that comes with that, and right now we've seen also a lot down that far flank that Haugen is on. Obviously, she was the one matched up with the Bogugu on that, what started the trio of corner kicks to begin with. So even just seeing a lot going down her side as Dallas is looking to kind of work their wide playmakers 1v1.
McCamey will take it at feet. One of the best distributors as a goalkeeper in the league. Last match, she had her fewest passes since joining the team, only 39, but has been averaging just south of 60 per 90, 57.8. That's the most in the division by any goalkeeper by 13. And it's something that Nathan Thackeray was certainly earnest about trying to use and develop their build out from the back, especially without Lauren Flint, and using it to good effect here. Miss him out.
Yeah, we saw Dallas struggling to find options there, but they want to be able to get higher numbers forward.
Lancaster hatching her plan, rumbling towards the end line. Well defended again by McNeil. And run out for another corner kick. That's already 4 for Dallas Trinity in this first 23 minutes. That matches the amount they had the entirety of the game against Sporting Jacks.
And that is a positive. They definitely have been doing a better job of looking to take players on 1v1, not just settling to pass it back, but attacking, getting forward, looking to get around the edge.
This corner kick is presented by Cornerstone Capital Bank and presented towards the back post. Goalkeeper flapping at it. And fortunate, and it's only going to be another renditioning into the area and not something more lethal.
You look here, this service placed perfectly into the back of the 6, where there's a slew of bodies competing for it in the air, and Wegner immediately puts her hands up saying it wasn't off of them, but it was off of them. The officials call this yet another corner kick. That's a lot of corners, and that's really tough to defend.
This time Winnie Bellata. Not sure what the plan was there. Didn't look like it was super organized in the choreography from Dallas Trinity. Ultimately harmless, another goal kick coming.
Dallas looked like they tried to play that quickly, but I wonder if it was almost too quickly for even them to be set up. As that short was on, you take a look back, the early service actually still was in a great position on the 6, forcing Wegner to come out and punch it. And then that second opportunity, a great fall down chance when you have a point blank look on frame, especially with that many bodies in the mix, to try to knock that on goal. But the execution is what it comes down to have that many corner kicks, 5 corners. And when you think about it, did any of those result in a shot on goal that was truly threatening? Not enough, I think Nathan Thackeray and his group would probably say.
Those are the smoothing aspects of a staff that's still trying to forge what they're trying to do. The details, that's the hard stuff to get right.
Well, as you mentioned, they only had 4 corners last game for Dallas, so that is a positive. They've already been able to create 5. And even though they don't have any shots on targets, you can say you're at least getting something. When you get into the attacking third, for teams, you want to get a service, a corner, something out of it, and they've been at least able to do that.
Wagner up to clear her lines. Still winning on that first real chance here in this one. Over halfway played in the first half. Push to the playoffs is on across the Cambridge Super League. To stay up to date on the latest information, analysis, and insight, visit CambridgeSuperLeague.com.
Neither team so far has been able to truly get that shot on target. That's one of those biggest stats I always like to keep an eye on, because at the end of the day, you're not scoring goals if you're not shooting on frame. I mean, don't have to be an expert or mathematician to break that one down. And so we've seen corners, we've seen a shot for each, but we haven't seen anything that's truly dangerous in that regard. Dallas does have the better possession, 57% to Tampa Bay's 43%. But that is one of those areas Nathan Thackeray and this group have been talking about, of taking care of their chances when they do get them.
Swinging open on the Trinity. Ball ends at the feet of Bogagu again. Now switch of point. Both wingers have offered that degree of dynamism for Dallas. Bogagu and now on the ball, Lancaster.
Well, also something Dallas has been wanting to do is to have their players receiving the ball facing forward instead of having to turn or having their back to goal, being able to adjust their shape, adjust their body, and even how they're possessing. That way they're able to connect and link players facing forward. So playing the way you're facing, like we see there, just simplifies the game to make it quicker to see your options.
Hinson burrowing in toward the top of the area now. Stainbrook having a go. Doesn't test Wegner all that much. Straight at her. But that will be the first shot on target of the evening.
There is the first, and we need one. We needed one to see if that maybe might be the breakthrough, and well done here. It's Hinson getting forward as Sierra Hinson able to make the run off of Stainbrook and does a good job there. Just a little shake, shimmy shot. As you mentioned, not enough here to truly test Wegner, but this is similar to what Dallas has been talking about. Playing the way you're facing, simplifying the game, and then now when you get around the box, that's the time. Bring that creativity. Look to go 1v1 as Heather Stainbrook did get our first shot on target of this match.
It was Listro trudging on for Tampa Bay. Doesn't make it very far. That whole sequence opening up because of some decoy running in the mid-park. Saw one of those midfielders run her marker away from where Hinson was heading to. Into the space to receive. On the front foot, on the Sun. Ball rolled in across box and tapped home. A tiny move against the run of play. And the Sun pop up to go ahead 1-0.
How about this response by Tampa Bay? We were just saying that we saw our first shot on goal. Well, here's our first goal. It's Sabrina McNeil linking play wide with Maddie Picorni. Continues her run and ends up getting on the receiving end of this goal. This is a three-player combination drawn down, textbook. Picorni slats it across. Weber hits it back, and then with just the ability to continue her run, McNeil finishes that in. Ping, 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 back of the goal. Sabrina McNeil gets the first shot on goal of the game for Tampa Bay, and it is a goal. How about those odds of efficiency? Great combination, and truly, as we talked about for Dallas, playing the way they're facing, letting the ball do the work, and that led to the ball hitting the back of the net.
It's her first goal contribution in 5 games. It had tied the longest drought in that department for her all year long. Quenches her thirst in front of target and realistically reenacts a drill that you practice over and over again. That third-man run operation. So many times you don't get the reward for doing that extra work and continuing the run towards the target. That time, McNeil absolutely does, and Tampa Bay turn it on its head.
That's the key. As an attacker, sometimes the most efficient goals are the ones where you just finish your run. That's a tap-in goal, but if McNeil does not finish her run there, that ball is squeaking out the other end, possibly going out of bounds, and we're talking about a goal kick. So it's very important that you don't get caught ball watching or shut off in that sense. McNeil, again, this is for anybody watching, especially a player. That is exactly what you're supposed to do. Let the ball do the work, you make the pass, but you don't stop your run. And she ultimately ended up being on the receiving end of that final 3-player combination.
The old adage, Johan Cruyff era, is the ball always moves faster than any player can. And we saw that in practice. And when you're going on the road and trying to get a result, being able to operate with that kind of deliberance is massive. And as Tampa Bay put themselves ahead and put themselves in position to maybe gain more points here on the road, kind of have to remember the fact, as you saw in the graphic there a moment ago, this team has been better on the road than they've been at home this year, and looking for more in facts. Picorni again meddling with company. It's McNeil, the goal scorer, playing provider now. Poked clear. Tampa throwing the first punch. It's been the commonality in all their victories this year. Scored first in all 3 of them, as is the case here today. Still a long way to go against a plenty-potent outfit. This is a good test for Dallas, who has struggled on the offensive ends.
Yes, and this now looks a little bit more similarly to what we've seen even in the last game for Tampa Bay. It felt like they kind of allowed Dallas to shoot their best shot, so to speak, and just weathered the storm, dealt with the 5 corner kicks, and then after what felt like it could have been a changing moment with Heather Stainbrook's shot for Dallas, as they're them picking things up offensively, for Tampa Bay to respond the way they did, this is the resilience of this group that they've been showing, especially in this later part of the season.
You kind of have to shake yourself for a second. Remember, this team won a title last year.
Exactly.
And they are not going to forget that fact. And certainly playing with their tails raised as you see the foul call. Just 2 players vying for any real estate.
And the reality is this Tampa Bay team, the defending champs, Tampa Bay team, you don't carry that lightly. And I do also always like to say it's hard for teams that win championships, as we see Sydney DeCello go down in a lot of pain, grabbing at her right shin, excuse me.
We will get the first caution of the match.
Okay, take a look back at this again. The slide there. by Winnie Bellata, just catches Sydney Nasello. A late slide does lead to the card. And Nasello is up on her feet. She attracts a lot of attention when the ball is at her feet, especially with the way she likes to drift off into the midfield to find the ball at her feet to see if she can help generate and get the offense going.
That was something, though, that Denise Schulte-Brown felt like they might be able to exploit when they had the ball. Saw on tape that a lot of times Winnie Bellata is isolated in her defensive responsibility, and felt like the Sun maybe could pick on her a bit today. At the back stick, dangerously back across goal, but play is deadened. Not sure if the ball passed out over the line or if it was a foul. Matters not now.
Well, something else I wanted to hit on before Sydney Nasello went down is what people often sometimes might lose sight of in sports, and whatever sport it may be. When you win a championship, every team that faces you that next season has you circled on their schedule. You have a target on your back. So many may be surprised that Tampa Bay is at the bottom of the standings right now, but the reality is every team was playing their best game against them because you want to show you can beat the defending champs. So now this is maybe that time where they're kind of settling in and that pressure's off a little bit more, that they can now just get back to what helped them be a championship pedigree team in the first place.
Worked wide by Bellata. Dallas struggling more and more to find the tempo. In possession, they were rolling the first 25 minutes or so, but a whole new game after that goal by Sabrina McNeil.
Well, Heather Steinbrook's shot on target was exactly a minute before Sabrina McNeil's goal was scored. I mean, if that is just a prime example of what this Tampa Bay team does. You give your best shot, they come back hitting harder.
That is lovely work from the sellout. Excellent recovery tackle put in. There's a Dallas, rather that Tampa Bay player down. Back to their feet now. Dallas don't have any imperative to play the ball off the pitch to allow treatment for that injured player, so they'll play on. Steinbrook looking for Boss and out for a throw.
Well, right now Tampa Bay's forward line is doing a better job of drifting and pulling off the back line to find the ball at their feet. We're seeing Nasello, we're seeing Picorni and Weber being able to find some wide spaces. I know that's something that head coach Denise Schulte-Brown even mentioned, wanting to overload those wide spaces. They're doing a better job connecting and linking play with their front line and then joining in the attack. Dallas, unfortunately, is struggling to do that. They haven't been able, they've been possessing well, but this is where it seems to disconnect. Can they find their forward line? Can they get into their attack and sustain a good build-up as a unit?
Lancaster not on the same page, but is able to retrieve it. Betwixt two defenders, he's never going to make it all that far, and it's back with Tampa Bay Sun. Now pressing a little bit higher. Lancaster nearly had it, nothing more than a nibble. Dangerous bit of dribbling, and now dispossessed at the feet of Missimel. Bellata and into the middle. Steinbrook. Bellata. All the way wide. A swerving run from Missimel, and it scatters out beyond her reach. Goal kick. Don't miss Dallas Trinity FC's next home match at the Cotton Bowl. That's on Saturday, April 4th at 4:30 p.m. as the club hosts Celebrating Our Abilities, a special match day dedicated to inclusion, accessibility, and the many ways people experience the game. They will also feature an on-field adaptive soccer clinic, a pre-match panel with community leaders. Get your tickets now at dallas-trinity-fc.com/tickets or by scanning the QR code on your screen.
Well, this is where, as we have, we're just talking about for Dallas, they have to figure out an answer here. How do you build up the field? I know they were talking a lot, even in preparation, as Nathan Thackeray spoke with us, mentioning the opportunities in transition. But you have to imagine, as Thackeray looks on his group, their run of play in terms of when Tampa Bay gets numbers behind the ball, gets organized, has been difficult to break. They've been struggling to break their lines of pressure, and for whatever reason, it seems like they haven't been able to figure out a solution to figure out a way to connect with their front line.
We talked earlier about how Thackeray wasn't very happy with how the team responded in their last match against Sporting Jacks. Gave up those 2 goals late before the half, and felt like when he got the group in the locker room after the match, the only thing he was disappointed in is that they kind of went limp after that. How have you assessed the response after going down 1-0 here?
Yeah, I think it's actually a little bit similar. Unfortunately, giving up a goal should be that wake-up call. That should be something that, puts a fire under you, gets the energy going. You should see players rallying each other. Come on, picking each other up. We've got this, we've got this. And to be honest, I haven't seen much of that. If anything, it seems as though they're hanging their heads a bit. And so to your point, as Nathan Thackeray mentioned, it's not about giving up goals. You're going to give up goals. It's how you respond to it. And that's the piece that he was frustrated that they didn't have that belief they could come back after giving up a goal and then a second goal. You're down by 1 with a lot of time left. There's no reason that you should be discouraged and feel as though you can't come back in this game.
They have to pick their chins up here and train their backs ahead of what will be a dangerous set piece that has been routined here by Tampa Bay Sun. It's out for a corner kick.
Here's a corner kick presented by Cornerstone Capital Bank.
Corner coming. It is a Cornerstone Capital Bank corner kick. Only something in reserve for Tampa Bay Sun and looking to compound at the near posts. A good chop. Weber, her shot lacks that cutting edge, and the goalkeeper will let it go pretty wisely there, in fact. What will be a goal kick. Just like we've got the backs of Dallas-Trinity-fc, Trust and Will also have yours, helping families protect their legacy for generations. Start your plan today at trustandwill.com. Spiraling towards the final 5 minutes of a fast-moving first half here in Dallas, Texas.
It is still very remarkable that although Dallas has had the better possession, about 57% in their favor, and even actually the shots have been in favor of Tampa Bay. They are out shooting Dallas, and of course their one shot on target was the goal. Just one of those areas that, do you value the possession or do you value the impact when you do have the ball, of quality versus quantity? And right now the quality has been in favor of Tampa Bay, and I feel like I'm having deja vu because I said the exact same thing in their win versus DC last Thursday. They didn't outpossess DC, but when they did create, it was much more dangerous and effective.
Nasillo at the tip of the spear and running into the box. Has a look, it's saved. Strong stop from Tyler McCamey. That was a massive intervention by the goalkeeper.
Sydney Nasillo here, 1v6 I counted in this attack. It doesn't matter. Numbers down, she's going. Has a good look there, tries to take that wide touch. That's a tough angle to score from, especially as Tyler McCamey was able to close down that angle. But Sydney Nasillo has been very active this first half, and has done a good job of just finding the ball at her feet and then finding opportunities to get at Dallas defensively and look to get around the edge.
Maybe that's the moment, though, that wakes Dallas up. You heard their dugout exploding, upset that there was no call, where Tampa won the ball. Just need to get the blood pumping a little bit here. That's not going to do it.
No, that's definitely that area that just has been very disconnected for Dallas. And for a team that's out possessing Tampa Bay, if you think about where they're possessing and how they're possessing, it's not a lot of final third entries. They only have 9. But also just in general, it's not a lot of sustained possession of creating shots, creating services. It's kind of like they keep it and then they just give it away as they cross into that attacking third.
It is one area in which Tampa have been pretty good this year. In the top 3 in the division in terms of opponent shots and shots on target and box touches, and that is borne true here today. Dallas will have to find a way to pick that lock if they are to get anything from this all-important game. They are currently in the playoff field and do have the game in hand, but that's being played right now. If they don't get anything here, and it is a loss, their margin will be down to a single match, and it is DC Power right on their tails.
That's the reality. This is such a high-pressure moment for every team, and that's the beauty of where the league is at right now. Nobody is safe, nobody is exempt, nobody is eliminated either. So because of that, it leaves things wide open that every match has so much value in terms of standings, and it's a matter of who's going to step up in these high-pressure moments to find ways to grind out results. And for a game and now nearly a half, Tampa Bay has been showing that they are a team you probably do not want to be facing at this stretch of this season.
And if Tampa Bay are any evidence, there's plenty of reason to think to yourself, we just have to get in.
Bingo.
I think everybody was picking Carolina Ascent to be the favorite to win it last year, but Fort Lauderdale knocked them off, and with only 4 teams making the field, just a couple results have to bounce your way, literally in this sense, and you can lift silverware.
Well, this is the time that you also need to be trending in the right direction. The fitness, the health, the chemistry. You want to be at a point where some of those mistakes that you were making earlier in the season, you are no longer having to correct, and that things are turning a corner. And so it is really difficult, to your point, Peyton, because it's not really as much about even standings and records. It's about who's going to be playing the best soccer at the right time to make a deep run.
Rolled wide. This is Guidry. Free player in the middle. Ubogagu rushing along. Ubogagu has left it wide. Maybe caught in two minds a little bit as she blurred by her marker. Goal was at her mercy, and as she tried to pick out the cross, nobody was helped.
Well, we highlighted this playmaker for exactly what she can do with passing, but also 1v1 to generate shots. Well done by Chioma Ubogagu. Just a quick burst of speed to accelerate, get around the edge, drives that one back post. And we've seen her, whether it's helping to set up their corner kicks, trying to play services into the box, and this time a shot of her own, really trying to get this offense going. Sometimes we pick the right players to highlight pregame, and they make us look really good, like we know what we're doing. But Chioma Ubogagu has definitely been the biggest consistent threat right now for Dallas offensively. They just need to build off of her, and other players need to step up as well.
There's always that one person in the class project that is able to put their name on it. Didn't really do all that much. Yeah, that's me.
I was going to say, that sounds very much like you're speaking from experience. You can guess which person I was in the group project.
One of us played college sports, and it's not me.
We'll also keep feeding Ubogagu if she's going to be playing this well. That's also something that can be contagious for the rest of your offense.
And as we pass by the 1 minute of allotted time, we reach the end of the frame. 1-0 is your score, and Tampa Bay looking to make it 2 on the skip. Back-to-back road performances put in, and at least through the first half of action here, looking good for the Floridians.
Well, for the second game in a row, Tampa Bay has come out on the front foot as the aggressor, playing composed, calm, cool, and collected, looking like a team hungry to make a run up the standings, and a good team half that they just put together in this 1-0 lead.
For Dallas at this point, if you're Nathan Thackeray, what's the thing you're saying to your group in the dressing room after first half that really didn't see the best out of the home side?
You've got to want it. It comes down to that. Who wants it more in this game? And right now it's been Tampa Bay. You have 45 minutes to go out and prove you want to get this result. Can you do it?
All right. We are joined now by Sabrina McNeil. Sabrina, how many times did you practice that third-man run drill in training, and then you finally actually get that opportunity to continue that run and just walk it into the goal?
Yeah, we've been working on that all week and just trying to create numbers around the ball. So as soon as I kind of felt them bite and my team kind of lure the defender away, I just exposed the space and then was waiting for the ball in the box. So it was good.
Sabrina, for the second game in a row, you guys are up 1-0 at half. What are your initial thoughts on how you guys are playing to continue to protect this lead and make it 2 wins in a row?
Yeah, we're definitely not content. I feel like we want to utilize this big field. We have a lot of speed on our team and a lot of talent, so we're kind of excited for the opportunity to have the space and, attack them down the wings and utilize our fast players. So we're still building, I think, and I'm excited for the second half.
All right, Sabrina, thank you. Appreciate you making the time with us.
Thank you.
All right, promising first half for Tampa Bay as the Sun snuck out in front here in Texas. The score is 1-0. At the intermission, work to do for Dallas Trinity. More halftime coverage coming up when we return.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
A dream too big to measure, a will too strong to break. While others played, she prepared. She worked. Every sacrifice, every setback, every moment changed with this. While others saw limits, she saw a challenge. Every rep, every step, proof she's not finished. She's not just coming back, she's coming back stronger than ever. Scottish Rite for Children. Champions caring for champions.
This is UT Southwestern Medical Center, and this is where a spark happens. This is the teamwork that fuels it, the mentors who shape it. And this is where it comes together, with this care team connecting the dots, all leading up to this moment right here at UT Southwestern, where discoveries change lives. And this spark is just the beginning. Follow your spark at UT Southwestern, the #1 hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Dad drills. Let's go. Your kid falls asleep 1 minute, 32 seconds from home. What's the play?
Park and wait.
Quick glance. What's missing?
Emergency fruit snacks? Binky. Easy.
In-game challenge. Have you officially named a guardian?
My parents?
Doesn't count. This play needs a plan. Guardianship must be legal before it's official. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it incredibly easy.
It's secure, affordable, and actually counts.
Next topic. I am wide open. What do you do?
Run it.
Visit trustandwill.com today and make it count.
The Sun rolling on the road and looking to make it consecutive games with victory for the first time this year. Up a goal at the curtain fault up against Dallas Trinity. Score is 1-0. As for the halftime highlights from around the division, it is once more Ashlyn Puerta that's grabbing all of the headlines. What she's doing as one of the youngest players in the league, one of the best players in the league, and we also are getting a good sight of Chioma Abogagu and what she's been able to create. She'll have to do a lot more in the second half in that creation department, as well as we also take a peek at what is to come in the league. Look beyond what has been passed in previous, the upcoming schedule in the division. And Renee, as you take a look at the full slate at the weekend, both our teams we're seeing tonight in action again at the weekend on Saturday and Sunday with big fixtures.
Yeah, it's the second game this week for Dallas facing Spokane, and then also Tampa Bay against Carolina. But keep an eye on all these matches. You've got a team like Lexington that's closing the gap in the standings against Sporting Jacks with a big matchup, Two of the top 5 teams with Lexington and DC Power face off tomorrow night. But also much like Tampa Bay is doing right now, teams like Brooklyn, Fort Lauderdale, do not count these teams out as they are playing right now with nothing to lose, looking to climb the table and snag some points.
Dallas don't turn this around and DC win that one. They can put some real pressure on the home side. We're looking to try and find their footing again as we inch towards the second half. More halftime coverage when we return 1-0 at the break.
Dallas-Trinity-fc is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA+.
All the energy in action. Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA+. Join us every match, every moment. We'll see you on the pitch.
Great work starts with a great workspace. That was the idea behind the original Veridesk, and it's the inspiration behind everything we do. From our latest standing desks and ergonomic seating to free shipping and fast assembly. We create a workspace that works for you, so you can feel your best and do your best. Start your office upgrade today.
Sport is for everyone, but too often the moment slips away. Here Sport brings live, audio-described, multilingual commentary straight to your phone. So every play, every call, and every cheer is there for everyone. Trusted by clubs and fans, simple, instant, and accessible. Here Sport, live sport.
Have a great trip.
Do you think they'll be okay?
Honey, nothing's gonna happen. And if it did, your parents would take care of the kids. Our money, our house, everything would go to them immediately.
Doesn't count. It's a solid plan in your head, but if you want those things to actually happen, you need a trust. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy. A trust helps you avoid probate court, giving your loved ones immediate access to your funds, and it'll actually count. Slug bug. Get started at trustandwill.com and make it count.
All coming up sunny side for Tampa Bay as it's 1-0 at the intermission. They brought some fans on the road. They've gotten to show the highlights of the frame that just passed us by. Payne Geller here with Renee Washington. And Renee, although it was Tampa weathering the storm early, once they got a hold of the game, they were off and running. It would be one shot here, though, only a minute before the goal by Heather Stainbrook that had Dallas looking like they might be on the front foot. That would not last long.
Yes, it's a good build-up as Sierra Hinson and Heather Stainbrook link up, connect play, a nice little hesitation move, change of direction for Stainbrook, creates that space for the shots, and that was the first shot on target of the game. And then 1 minute later, here comes Sabrina McNeil racing forward, splits Dallas defensively, finds Maddie Pokorny out wide, who slots it back across to Faith Weber. A one-touch across the box to Sabrina McNeil, who's finishing her run. Look at that first touch to explode through, and the amount of Dallas players McNeil was able to beat off the dribble, and then just continues to run. You see her on the back post, continues her run wide open to poke that one home and give Tampa Bay the 1-0 lead. And then as the half was continuing to wear on, they weren't done. They continued creating. It was City Nacello, 1 versus 6 this time, that she was able to work down that right flank. This is what she does so well, off the dribble, able to just put her head down and go, creates a nice space to get that shot off that Tyler McCamey makes the save on. And Tampa Bay, with the better of chances, the goal, the lead, and firing on all cylinders right now.
They're playing with bounce. There's a lot of confidence in how they're carrying themselves right now, coming off the win against EC Power, looking to make it consecutive victories, Renee, for the first time since lifting a trophy, beating Dallas Trinity in the first round, and then Fort Lauderdale in the championship tie.
Yes, and although Dallas had the better of possession, the better of corners, everything that matters, shots on target, and most importantly, goals in favor of Tampa Bay. They've been more clinical, more composed, and taking advantage of their opportunities to have this lead going into the break.
It is still within striking distance for Dallas. They will head into the second half with all to do, just above the playoff line and feeling the pressure. Tampa Bay certainly out in stride. We will find out what is on the other end in the second half when we return.
Dallas-Trinity-fc is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA+.
All the energy in action. Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA+. Join us every match, every moment. We'll see you on the pitch.
A dream too big to measure, a will too strong to break. While others played, she prepared. She worked. Every sacrifice, every setback, every moment changed with this. While others saw limits, she saw a challenge. Every rep, every step, proof she's not
Keep those feet moving.
finished. She's not just coming back, she's coming back stronger than ever. Scottish Rite for Children. Champions caring for champions.
This is UT Southwestern Medical Center, and this is where a spark happens. This is the teamwork that fuels it, the mentors who shape it. And this is where it comes together, with this care team connecting the dots, all leading up to this moment right here at UT Southwestern, where discoveries change lives. And this spark is just the beginning. Follow your spark at UT Southwestern, the #1 hospital in Dallas-Fort Worth.
Oh, look, great blue heron.
Oh, your favorite.
You know, when I go, I'd like to leave some money to the local bird conservancy.
Oh, that's a beautiful legacy to leave.
Doesn't count. Generous, but final wishes need to be more finalized. What you need is a will. Luckily, Trust and Will makes it easy to create a legally valid, state-specific document that actually counts. Ooh, what's that?
That's a duck.
Start your will at trustandwill.com now and make it count.
We're all growing something, a dream, a business, a better way to live. At Gardenuity, we bring the experience of growing to life, made simple, for wherever you live, work, or play. Because growth isn't just what happens in the soil, it's what happens in you. Gardenuity, made to grow.
Nice shot. Let's play.
Live from the Cotton Bowl and ready for the second half here in the Gamebridge Super League, where Tampa Bay Sun on the road out in front of Dallas Trinity-fc. With Renee Washington, I am Peyton Gallagher. And for Dallas, says they have work to do in this game, and also thinking about what's to come, and that will be another home fixture for them, Renee. It will be the final of this 4-game homestand against Spokane.
Yes, and for Dallas Trinity FC to take on Spokane at home. And right now, we talked about them 3 winless coming into today, trailing this one at the half. You need to make sure you're finishing not only this game, but also this home stretch out the right way against a Spokane team that's on their heels in the standings.
For Tampa Bay, if they are able to get victory here in this one, they will have consecutive home games to look forward to, the first of which against Carolina Ascent. And if you can get Dallas here today, you're going to feel really good about your odds against any opponent. It will be a strong piece of opposition in the form of the Carolinians.
Well, if they are able to complete this game, they would have just beaten DC Power, who's sitting in 5th, beat Dallas, who's sitting in 4th, and in facing Carolina, who's sitting in 3rd. So if the math is mathing, Tampa Bay is slowly knocking off everybody ahead of them in the standings.
Coming out of the break, Denise Schulte-Brown will make one alteration. It looks like Peyton Parsons will come on, one of the new additions to the team. And a strong cameo in the game against DC Power, and she'll get a full 45 minutes to acquit herself here today at the Cotton Bowl.
This is something for Tampa Bay. They've been able to do a good job of also having subs that come in and make an impact. That's part of the name of the game across this league, is to make sure that depth piece is there. And we saw the immediate impact their subs made last game, a player like Jill Shimkin, who got the 2nd goal, but also just the way they were able to keep the tempo high.
It's important to note that on the year, Tampa Bay have conceded a ton of second half goals, the 2nd most in the entire division with 20. Only Fort Lauderdale have surrendered more. But that was the big discrepancy against DC Power. Tampa had the lead for the majority of that game, but saw it out very professionally and kind of smothered the contest late. Not a lot of chances to report for DC Power in that one.
And that's something that for Tampa Bay, they want to continue to do today. You want to ensure that you're protecting this lead. You don't want to go up 1-0 and then just pack it in. I know I said it last game, I'll say it again this game. To go up 1-0 and then just pack it in and spend the rest of the game just defending, for head coach Denise Schulte-Brown and her group, they don't want that. You want to continue pressing, continue creating, continue to take the tempo to them and make Dallas have to chase you, make them have to defend you, versus spending the 45 minutes just exhausted trying to weather the storm.
We did see Tampa use a lot of energy pressing hard in the first half, and they've not taken their foot off the gas, and that's paying dividends. What a touch that is. Taken straight out of the sky. It was Haugen who put the tether to it, and it's a throw-in for Tampa Bay.
Something else we also haven't even talked about to this point, when you look at the history of these two teams, Tampa Bay has had the upper hand in the meetings. It has been since December 2024. Since Dallas last beat Tampa Bay. They've had some ties, but it has actually been all things in favor of Tampa Bay for the most part in this series history. Look at that number, 2 wins, a loss, and 3 draws for Tampa as they lead this across all competitions. So it's been quite some time since Dallas has been able to be victorious against the Sun.
I think importantly, Renee, one of those 2 wins was in the playoffs last year. Tampa starting their turn towards what would ultimately be a trophy. Slanted away by McCamey.
Dallas also, I think we've talked about what they need to do offensively. Part of it is just the movement to be a bit more proactive and less reactive in the sense of as you win it. So now you have the ball offensively. You're trying to get your shape. You're playing through your keeper and Tyler McCamey trying to build out of the back. Can everybody else make sure they're moving in positions to stretch the field, get good shape, give good options so you can play to feet? And unfortunately, what we've seen too many times is exactly what they just did, that they win it, their backs are looking to play forward, but they have no one to connect with up top or in their midfield, and now it's a giveaway and they're back defending.
Well, you've surely been at games like this where it feels like you're running uphill the entire game. What is the thing that you can do as a player to maybe offer that spark and change things and just start to make yourself feel a little bit lighter over the course of a contest?
Sometimes you need to just make the extra pass or the extra play. So it could be to just buy your team time. I think Dallas is taking a bit too long to transition into their offense. and there's a lot of kind of stoppage, and I think that's something that they even talked about, keeping the ball moving, keeping yourselves moving. So you also can just make that small extra pass that now hopefully opens up another one. So instead of trying to force the home run ball, so to speak, just small build-ups, small combinations, maybe a couple touches to even open up some space, similar to what we saw actually Sabrina McNeil do. That one touch opened up for her to dribble through the Dallas defenders to create the goal. So it's just a little bit of shiftiness to be able to create that separation, because if you're Tampa Bay, you're fine with the remainder of the game going exactly like this because you're probably walking out of here victorious.
Absolutely. Hinson. Left wide, Guidry, and now Stainbrook. Got to do something with the ball. Wisner. Moving wide. Bogugu. And now in chorus and on the move. Miss him out at the end line. Her cross is clawed away, but that was a good sequence from Dallas, and they have a corner.
Well done. It starts with that Stainbrook laid this off to Wisner. Just that quick switch of the point of attack to find a Bogugu out wide. Gives Missimo time for the underlapping run, and now she's attacking Haugen end line, and then good help defense sliding across is beset to stifle that opportunity as that service was headed across the box.
It's another corner kick for Dallas. Saw plenty of them in the first half. It's presented by Cornerstone Capital Bank. Dallas need to cash something in. Played short to the top of the area. Stainbrook sliding infield. Too many bodies in the way. Davison and all the way back. A lot of numbers still up for Dallas after the corner kick. Hinson scraped in field and laid off. Lancaster creamed wide.
Good build up by Dallas to just recycle their runs, and now as Hinson works this one, good quick cut back to find a Bogugu who lays it off. Cameron Lancaster does a good job running underneath. I wonder if she could have hit this first time and just kind of run onto it instead of taking that touch there to slow the momentum down. As soon as the Bogugu lays that one off, just run onto it first time, drill that one on frame, and we might be looking at a 1-1 tie game right now. But a nice build-up nonetheless for Dallas.
You've been doing all this work with the ball. If you are Dallas, as Lancaster is called for the foul there. It's been thankless for them. Maybe just seeing that one glimmer of actual dividend from the process. That might be the thing that gets them really up and going. Showcasing the connection again on the home side. Darted downfield by Davidson, and it will be easy pickings at the back. Stay connected all season long by signing up for the club's newsletter for breaking news, special offers, and exclusive updates during year 2 of the Gamebridge Super League. You can scan the QR code on your screen to subscribe.
That was a slew of opportunities for Dallas. The corner kick, the chance by Cameron Lancaster. You want to see if you're Dallas, if you can continue that energy and continue to put the pressure on Tampa Bay. You do not want to see, like we saw in the first half at times, where they would have these back-to-back moments of 3 corner kicks or even a good chance by Stainbrook on net, but then it would kind of die off. Keep the level high, keep chasing this game.
Just look like Stainbrook is ailing a little bit as the ball is left in harm's way. It just wriggles away from Lancaster. Starting to involve herself a little bit more in those central spaces now, though.
She has been. I mean, that's what led to her getting that feed off of a Bogugu that she was able to get the nice shot off of, just mixing it up. Sometimes she's making the wide runs. Sometimes she's cutting back across to find it more centrally, and that's versatility that honestly is needed as they've been trying to find ways to unbalance Tampa Bay defensively. You have to be more dynamic. Look, here she goes again.
On the move with bodies in the box. The cutback coming for Boss. A loose first touch, but still on. Stainbrook. Bogagu. And now the tempo slows to something more similar to a staccato. Guidry on the move. Hinson. A clever pass out of a dangerous confine there.
Dallas is doing their best offensively when they're just quickly moving on and off the ball.
Hooked away in the box. There's Chisholm, who put her boot to it, but not all the way clear. Lancaster again blows a tire, but a bit of counter pressing. Only gets it back for Dallas. Tampa Bay happy to take some of the air out. That draws applause from the gaffer in the technical area. Nathan Thackeray happy with how his team is starting to rev the engine.
Definitely see a difference in this second half for Dallas, that they're raising the tempo and doing a better job of just continuing to stay relentless in pursuit of the ball. That's something that even if you are missing on the pass, missing on the touch, you cannot shut off, and they're doing a better job of hunting to win it right back. But then I know they've talked about creating spaces for teammates to run onto, losing their defenders, finding ways to move into open channels. And so I think that's what's been helping. When you look at the second half chances they've created, it's the movement and just the relentless energy they're bringing in the second half that they have to continue to do more of.
Into the channel it goes for Stainbrook. At the control, Stainbrook with the overlap, and Boss again. A little bit slow to react, but Stainbrook gets it back. Boss missing out once more. Shot coming off a deflection and carrying wide, but it will be a corner. This is much more like it from the Texans.
They definitely have to be encouraged by how they are creating in this second half. Stainbrook making that wide run, looking to connect to find Boss. Boss unable to go on the other end of it, but there's the relentless hunt to win the ball right back as soon as they lose it, and then able to step forward is Samar Guidry that joins into the attack. Just player after player relentlessly making it difficult for Tampa Bay to clear out of their own defensive third.
Progressive overloads. Pressing the gas on a Cornerstone Capital Bank corner. Maybe a little bit overhit. Davison can't catch up.
Well, Bethany Boss, something we haven't talked about. I know Nathan Thackeray, when he was updating us on any players that might be unavailable, mentioned Bethany Boss would be available today. Did have to get staples in the back of her head after a tough play last game. And so good to see her back out there. I know she did get to practice this week. She did clear all protocols and was able to get the staples removed. So everything is safe there. There's no safety or health concerns for her. But this also is just where teams are at this time of the season, of players like Bethany Boss trying to battle through. Maybe you're not 100%. Maybe you're even dealing with missing a bit of time, but trying to find ways to be on the pitch to help your team.
Looks like Carly Jamona, as well as Jilly Shimkin, who scored last game, will come on. It was her first professional goal in the case of Shimkin, and it was decisive. Maya McCutcheon being entered into the contest for Nathan Thackeray.
Definitely seems like time for some fresh legs and substitutions to happen for both teams. If you're Tampa Bay, wanting to get back to getting the ball higher up the park, getting out of this pressure, whereas Dallas, with the pressure on, needing to see if they can strike while the iron's hot, and maybe some fresh legs, and Maya McCutcheon can help make that happen.
Jamona has been a sharp thorn, a hard one to remove in the side of Dallas Trinity in the case of Tampa Bay Sun. 2 goals against them in the recent matches, including the winner in that playoff tie that we talked about. Only 3 goals this season. All those coming in the first 5 games. She's been without a goal contribution in the last 14, but this could be a get-right moment for her. Dancing around at the top of the area, Stainbrook scrapes it wide. was just trying to rake it back across frame as the goalkeeper was moving to meet her.
Well, Heather Stainbrook, we've seen her doing a good job. I know we talked earlier about with Chioma Bogogu doing a lot of different things offensively of corner kicks, services, shots. Who else for Dallas? Stainbrook has been that player that's answered the call. We've seen even in the second half, but of course the first half shot she had as well. I think it's just her moving out of the same central position. Some of the runs she's making, finding the ball, and just going. She's got the green light, and she's really been helping Dallas offensively in the second half.
Led the broadcast by talking about Dallas trying to establish who those real difference makers would be when things got precarious. It's been Stainbrook today. Guidry. That's smooth work on the ball. Bogogu with runway. Has her defender on skates and finally getting a word in is Victoria Haugen, who was off balance and falling away. Had to get that right.
These two have been going at it the entire match. 1v1, mano-y-mano, and Chioma Bogogu this time looking to get around the edge. Haugen just to slide it right in time. This is also why we've had so many corner kicks, because Bogogu's doing a good job of looking to attack the end line to help set up these corner kick opportunities for Dallas.
Thrust in. That's a decent ball. Nodded off course at the back stick. Dallas is still yet to generate any actual goal-threatening action on one of those corners. Stainbrook, a settling first touch. Slotted upfield. This is Hinson. Pressed into the box, fumbled away. It's there for Boss, saved, and flicked on free of frame. Missimo misses the mark.
All around the goal for Dallas. Sierra Hinson drives this one well across with pace. Difficult for Wegner to be able to see this one in. And then how about Boss and then Missimo on the follow-up, trying to see if they can get this one on frame. Boss does a good job knowing that Wegner's out of position of quickly trying to get that shot off, and the deflection falls perfectly to Lexi Missimo, who just missed it. And that has been the story for Dallas. They've been all around the goal. And although I was tempted to make a pun on Missimo's last name, I will not do it, that she missed there. But nonetheless, Dallas is still on the hunt to see if they can tie this game up.
No card for Jilly Shimkin. Is not leaving much question to the referee. She hooked down Hinson. Just on Missimo, a player that's starting to find form after missing a large portion of the early going of the season. Only the 2 goals on the year, but had a goal and an assist in the games prior to that thrashing against Jacksonville. You're going to need her to find herself to hit that ultimate ceiling for Dallas.
Well, for as important as it is for the top talent on your team to be healthy, to be raising their game, you do need other players as well. You're not going to win in this league with just 1 or 2 players. There's so much talent, there's so much depth. You need to have a full all-team effort. And so this is also the separating factor for some teams of who's maybe climbing and who's declining, and regressing in standings of who has other players that are bought in, raising their game to help contribute as well.
This is sleek stuff with the ball. And right on cue, it rolls beneath the studs of Stainbrook. Gear up for year 2 and rep dallas-trinity-fc with the latest kits, scarves, and merch, including the newly released Trinity Flare collection. Visit shop dallas-trinity-fc.com to grab yours and show your colors all season long. Season's starting to change, maybe a chance to freshen up the wardrobe a little bit.
Absolutely. Any excuse to do some shopping. you know that, Peyton.
You don't have to tell me twice. Lofted in, looking for Boss, who does well to work it wide. And suddenly, it looks like there might be space. Lancaster. Guidry working it out. Weaving and whittling. Stainbrook. She's been so slippery in those central areas, but now she's lost the ball. Referee had to have a think about it. Tampa were off to the races, but Sean Tahini makes an important ruling in the 64th minute.
I think that is the right call, and Dallas does a good job just having numbers here. Cindy Nacello did not think that was a foul as she was off to the races, but you look here. Ooh, maybe she had a point there, but it did look like their cleats got a bit caught. That caused Stainbrook to lose her footing. Not only would I be arguing that if I'm Cindy Nacello, just wanting to ensure that I made my point that should not have been a foul, but this is also a dangerous spot on the pitch. That's a tough spot to foul. She was tight to Stainbrook, was forcing her square, if not negatively. So you didn't even need to foul there, and I don't know that she was intending to foul versus just trying to play high defensive pressure. But a good scoring opportunity for Dallas.
Missimo just tries to chip it up over the wall, and now the try. Got it tall.
A little bit of creativity there for Dallas of a chip pass to a layoff. I like the idea.
Stay up to date with the Gamebridge Super League. Sign up for the Super League newsletter. Get news about your favorite team and the stories from around the division delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at GamebridgeSuperLeague.com/newsletter. More important now than ever with the results counting for that little extra bit as the calendar flips past March and into May.
Dallas continues in the second half. They've definitely made improvements. Tampa Bay still weathering the storm. I know I mentioned it. You don't want to defend for 45 minutes, and they've been heavily under pressure. And now, in addition to Dallas already doing a good job of creating and knocking on the door, this is not a good sight for the Sun either, as we're seeing Emery Wegner down, stretching in some pain. We talked about the warmth and maybe some of the physical wear earlier in the match. It's not a good sign for Wegner to be down, maybe dealing with some cramping or some muscle tightness.
Look back at how we arrived at the point of separation. Tampa, their goal in the first half, they've been under siege in the second, but this is what they've earned the right to defend.
Yes, it all started with a three-player combination. McNeil to Picorni to Weber, back to McNeil, to the back of the net. Just quick off-ball movement, clicking and gelling as a unit to build up the pitch. And that goal in the 29th minute by Sabrina McNeil has been the difference maker. This Tampa Bay team in the first half really was the aggressor, composed, offensive team. But now they've been not only weathering the storm defensively, but may have another challenge if they have to make a keeper change. Again, it's always next player up though, Peyton, but it is difficult for a keeper to come into a contest. It's not one of those positions you sub, obviously, but in general, it's a little more different and difficult, I should say, for a substitution to have to happen for a goalie.
It is Sydney Schneider who is getting ready. They will make a change, Tampa Bay, but it will not be the goalkeeper. Faith Weber, her day is done. She puts in back-to-back shifts in which she has a goal contribution and assist today. She's replaced by Jordan Zaid. Also looks like Nathan Thackeray will make a change as well. Celie Strawn coming on. Only one start for her in the last 9 games, but more than ready to contribute. As a substitute, she had 3 substitute goals last year, which were the most in the division. In fact, both these teams were 1 and 2 in the league. And the amount of goals they got from game-changing players off the bench haven't had that kind of production this year, and Dallas are to hit their stride. Celie Strawn might have a big part in it, not only in this game, but just over the course of the entire season.
Celie Strawn's definitely been one of those consistent scoring presences for them, has a few goals of her own as well this season. I mean, this team has definitely had a number of players that have been contributing. I know we touched on it before, 3 goals, 3 assists. It's very well balanced across their attack. So you know any player can step up and make a play.
Sheekley along where Dallas says the dummy freed up Lancaster to run free. Cross is not going to get past the first barricade, though, and it's out for another corner kick.
Corner kicks are definitely one of those areas that for Dallas you can look back on and want to tweak. To have so many corners, you have to get these to lead to shots on goal.
Cornerstone Capital Bank corner headed on. That's the best they've done with one of these. It was the substitute Maya McCutcheon who got the glancing blow, but nothing more.
Definitely one of the better looks they've had off of a corner kick. We've seen them try to mix it up a little bit, mixing and matching some ideas. Have 9 or 10 corners at this point of the game, and I want to see if you can continue to generate those.
Moves centrally, the shot is misguided. Never got her foot all the way around the ball. Sealy Straughn hopes of making an immediate impact, and instead it's out for yet another Tampa Bay goal kick.
Bit unlucky there for Sealy Straughn. Definitely did a good job of opening up her first touch to even create that look on frame. She brings good pace, not afraid to take players on and not afraid to take shots from distance. Just was unable to control that one there.
Zaid infield. Ucello couldn't initially work it out, but now threads it through for Zaid and flashes in across. It had venom. Dallas fortunate to not be punished there. It's a throw in the cup. And time to tell you that you shouldn't miss Dallas Trinity FC's next home match at the Cotton Bowl on Saturday, April 4th at 4:30 p.m. as the club hosts Celebrating Our Abilities, a special match day dedicated to inclusion, accessibility, many ways people experience the game. It will also feature an on-field adaptive soccer clinic, a pre-match panel with community leaders. Get your tickets now at dallas-trinity-fc.com/tickets or just by scanning the QR code that's on your screen.
Well, we do see a bit of a change here in terms of the game. If you think about it, since some substitutions and things in these later stretch of the contest, Tampa Bay's been getting high up the field. We saw Zaid get the service that she wasn't able to connect with a teammate on, but was able to get into the attacking third. A foul drawn here. These are things that take the air out of the sail for Dallas of what they were compiling.
Haugen in. Jabbed forward by Missimo. That's another throw-in. Tampa Bay doing a great job of making sure every inch is contested, and due to that fact, they will take the throw.
Well, slowly everything is going in Tampa Bay's favor. It's very minor things. A throw in here, a foul there. These are the momentum shifting types of things. And then also Zaid here just taking her time to get a different ball and does get a booking for it. Jordan Zaid just doing some gamesmanship of running time off the clock. She left one ball to go get another. That's just milking the clock, and I'm not mad at her for it at all.
Again, Sean Tahini, the center referee today, as the ball is sent in. Dangerous area and clutched calmly by McCamey, but just on Tahini. One of the best referees in the game, and she will not suffer any fools in terms of the time-wasting department.
Just really setting the tone even there to get that card issued right away. Not a talking to, just an immediate yellow card for delay of game. But now also a shot for Tampa Bay off of that throw-in. Momentum shifting.
There's room again as Dallas break through the press. Breezing along towards the final third, and the final ball is elusive. Hinson doesn't give it up. Goalkeeper a little late to arrive. It's the first time we've seen an examination of Wegener since she went down.
Well done there by Guidry to break forward. Tampa Bay back on the hunt. Just been a bit unfortunate with their final passes. I mean, even that last play, the ideas are there, but the run and the pass not on the same page.
This could be trouble. It's Zaid clutching at the ball. Goalkeeper off the line. She sensed it. Shot never got all the way through. Now a collision at the top of the box. Zaid continues. No whistle coming. Sent centrally. Looking for reinforcement. Late arriving runner. Rocked tall.
What an odd play that ended up being Peyton on both accounts. Just a lot of miscommunication and confusion there, but nonetheless a near chance for Tampa Bay to get the insurance goal. It all started with an unfortunate mistake as Amber Wisner was trying to pass back to Tyler McCamey. Wisner does recover though, and as Zaid's shot is blocked, they thought that was a foul on McCutcheon. McCutcheon stops, but Zaid keeps going, and then here comes a good shot, but just unfortunately unable to get that on target for Tampa Bay. Just a really broken play on both sides of miscommunications. If there was a whistle, if there was a foul, what happened?
Like watching somebody fall down in slow motion. It's a bit precarious up in the corner. Tampa nearly do win it. Still giving absolutely everything in the press, and they may pay for it now. Missimel flashing it ahead. Ubogagu with pace. Sprinting at Haugen, going right by her, gliding end line, dragged down. Penalty. A bit of brilliance from Chioma Ubogagu. And she strode into the box and put all the pressure on Tampa Bay, who failed the test in the area.
Chioma Ubogagu just working, slicing and dicing through Tampa Bay defensively. A quick cut back this way, and she was not done yet. Gets end line, and I wondered if they were going to try to see if there was any advantage there, but there was none. So nonetheless, Chioma Ubogagu, a one-player wrecking crew just to create a penalty kick. We've talked about all she's created for this Dallas offense. Well, now she set them up with a penalty kick, an opportunity for Amber Wisner, their captain, their general, the player that starts and plays every minute for them, to have an opportunity to tie this game up.
On the day of her 50th appearance for Dallas Trinity, Amber Wisner, the captain, from 12 yards, needing to equalize. Amber Wisner urgently compelled. Emery Wegener, her obstacle. For Dallas Trinity, Wisner is true. Hit with anger and put right by the paw of Wegener. And leveled in a flash. Dallas cash in 1-1.
This is how it all started. Chioma Ubogagu working along the end line there around Bassett and Haugen, and then sets up the penalty kick that her teammate, Captain Amber Wisner, steps up and delivers. Dallas with a much-needed big play and break to tie this game up. It's Ubogagu, it's Wisner that step up to make that game-tying play happen.
A hatefully hit penalty kick by El Capitan. Amber Wisner. Whole new game. Tampa had weathered and weathered and weathered, but eventually the sun will eclipse. Can they turn it back on? Entering into this final act, a quarter hour for either of these sides to get all-important separation here at the end of the season and in the game. Nacello onto it, goalkeeper's out, saved away by all means. McCamey did that with her face.
By any means necessary, Tyler McCamey comes up big, cuts down the angle, and keeps this tied 1 apiece. How about this response by Tampa Bay? Numbers in the box. That first one by Guidry just headed and perfectly falls to Sydney Nacello, who just runs through it. That's that aggression that she brings, no hesitation.
Talk about nose to the grindstone. And it will be a corner kick to defend. Dallas may be experiencing a bit of a glitch in focus after the penalty kick goal. Switched off a bit, and they have work to do in front of them.
Well, keep in mind that there was a miscue that led to a near second goal for Tampa Bay prior to that penalty kick goal that Wisner scored. So we could have been looking at a 2-0 scoreline right now. Instead, it's 1-1. They need to fine-tune some things defensively, including that focus on their clearances.
Looming shadow of the goal scorer, Sabrina McNeil, on this Cornerstone Capital Bank. Corner kick came all the way across the goal mouth, but after it glanced off Tampa hat, it's nothing more than a goal kick. Dallas regained custody of the ball, something they've made much more use of in this half. Renee only saw them take the 4 shots in the first half, only 1 on target. They've generated 9 in this frame, and although they haven't really tested Emery Wegener all that much, just maybe an indication of the areas they're inhabiting now.
Definitely been a big switch to the second half as they've outshot Tampa Bay 9-3 in the second half. They have offensively been clicking a lot more. It's been the 18 final third entries. It's been the fact they are still maintaining possession, the amount of corners they've created, and they're just doing a better job of attacking the goal and being more threatening. But they still need to tune some things defensively, because we've seen them a couple of times now susceptible, getting caught flat a little bit, that Tampa Bay was nearly able to sneak them for a second goal.
And again, that's been a nasty habit for Tampa, as that will be the 21st time that they've hemorrhaged opposition goal in the second half, which is the second greatest tally in the whole division. Maya McCutcheon.
That's been an Achilles heel. It is tough to put together a complete game where you are minimizing mistakes, focused and dialed in the entire time, but that is a massive differentiating factor between winning games, losing games, or even squeezing out a tie.
Rare giveaway from McCamey. Shimkin guiding in across. Tampa had not manifested the numbers they needed in the area quite yet. Now the break might be on. Quickly stuffed out.
Both teams struggling to keep it here. It's a bit of a ping pong back and forth we're seeing.
They've been working hard in hot conditions on a big field as the player goes down. And Sealy Strawn, and immediately you saw Sean Tahini bringing on the physios.
Yeah, and this just a very awkward play here as Victoria Haugen, looking to change directions, gets caught up there and immediately grabs at her knee, which is never a good sign. Just right now, down in a lot of pain as we saw Strawn coming over, Sealy Strawn, to contest her.
You don't want to jump to any conclusions or speculate about anything, but just looking at the replay and judging the reaction of Sean Tahini with a mindful eye, you can see that it wasn't the leg that was contacted. And Haugen immediately grabbed for, and I think that was the indication that Tahini took as a cue to immediately call for the medical attention. And you see it all over the face of Haugen how much dismay she's currently in. This is a Tampa Bay team that has struggled so mightily with significant injuries throughout the course of the year, and you just hope this is not another.
Yeah, definitely hoping that Victoria Haugen is okay. Not a good reaction, and very concerning to see, to your point, the way that play unfolded, the knee that she grabbed, the awkward way that she stepped as well. As we look back here, Peyton, at what's tied the game up, it was Chioma Bogogu's efforts working around Haugen, as well as Bissett able to draw the foul. And then with the penalty kick, Captain Amber Wisner drives that one out of the reach of Emery Wegner, buries it, puts Dallas on the scoreboard to tie things up for her second goal of the season in the 76th minute. And it's been a tale of two halves. Tampa Bay had the better of play in the first half. Dallas has definitely come out more aggressive, more energy and intensity in the second half, and that's what's led to this 1-1 scoreline so far.
It'll be Brooke Hendricks that comes on to replace Victoria Haugen. Hendricks came off the bench for the first time in her Tampa career last game. Back-to-back times here today. Team's leader in aerial duels with 62, and aerial duels won with 35. So that box defense might be a very useful commodity as Tampa find themselves increasingly under siege. Just like we've got the backs of Dallas-Trinity-fc, Trust and Will also has yours, helping families protect their legacy for generations. Start your plan today at trustandwill.com. Dotting the I's and crossing the T's on what's been a very exciting contest here in the Cotton Bowl between Tampa Bay Sun and Dallas Trinity. Nothing has come easily in this one for either side.
It has not, and Dallas has been doing a good job of continue to put the pressure on, but Tampa Bay's been sneaky with their opportunities they've been able to get forward. It hasn't been often this second half, but when they've gotten chances around the goal, it definitely has been scary and threatening for what they've been able to create. So still a lot of time left in this game, and execution, focus, those details are going to be so crucial as to if either team is going to be able to squeeze out that second goal.
Flown ahead. Zaid is the target. McCutcheon will walk it all the way back to her goalkeeper. Could be a bad giveaway here, and it's a breakthrough for Tampa Bay. It comes pear-shaped so quickly. The Sun illuminate the tie and make it 2-1, albeit amidst the misfortune of Dallas Trinity.
So unfortunate here. They gave up a similar goal last game off of a goal kick. This time, just a giveaway top of the box that you almost essentially are just passing it right to the other team in a deadly lethal spot. My goodness. For as well as Dallas has been playing the second half, Carly Jamona able to regain the lead for Tampa Bay, sneaks them and catches them flat.
Here's Lancaster into the area for Stainbrook, and it's her again. Carly Jamona, who now has scored in 3 consecutive against Dallas Trinity, reenacts her performance from the postseason a year ago. It's a complete facsimile of the scoreline even, 2-1.
Deja vu that Carly Jamona scored again. She has had their number. We've seen her even score in September's match against them as well. She's, for whatever reason, just continues to be one of those players or aspects that's an Achilles heel for Dallas.
Not only that, that's her first goal contribution in 14 games, coming at a crucial time, the time that may turn the tide of Tampa's season. And suddenly hungry, with wide eyes, it's the Sun striking out. Hendricks. Nearly given away. It may be given away. Scrambling into action was Vivian Bissett, who gave away the penalty. Sweeps up there.
Bissett comes through to clean this one up and make sure there's nothing there. Now, if you're Tampa Bay, you do have to be very detail-oriented on all the little things, your clearances, your body shape, making sure you're stepping as a unit, pressing as a unit, because although you have to be thrilled with Carly Jamona's goal, still a lot of time left for Dallas to see if they can tie things up.
You mentioned the clearances, as Wegener will pick this up. Something that I don't think gets enough credit in these late game situations on tired legs is it can be really hard to hit the ball far away from your own goal. And if you don't achieve that, it's coming right back down in your direction.
That's the thing. You want to make sure you're not just clearing it, but you're also keeping it. You don't want to continue to play it upfield and you're finding yourself defending because you're giving it right back.
That's a good ball. It was Strawn striding for it, and the goalkeeper arrived first.
Emery Wegener has been doing a good job. Remember, she was stretching at one point, working through maybe some muscle tightness or something of that nature, but she's been just fine as of late. Great off her line and doing a good job to help just be alert and aggressive enough for those longer passes being played in by Dallas.
Chased down at the touchline by McCutcheon. It will be a throw. Pair of changes. Last gas stuff from Nathan Thackeray as he empties his bench. Looks like Caroline Kelly, as well as Allie Thornton, who's plenty capable in front of goal, did score against Tampa Bay in the earlier meeting this year. It is done for Cameron Lancaster, as well as Hinson. So this is everything but the kitchen sink, and maybe also the kitchen sink.
And always a really good situation to have when you can bring in the Golden Boot winner from the 2024-25 season as a substitution and see if you can tie the game up. Just speaks volumes to this Dallas team, the depth. I know we've talked about it for both teams, the depth that they have to be able to bring in players off the bench that truly could be starters that are coming into later parts of the game. That's been a benefit even for Tampa Bay. That's 2 games in a row they've had a sub come in and score a second half late goal for them.
Stainbrook. Such classy work on the ball from her to get away. Stainbrook again, latching on. Shipped along by Guidry. Off the touch line, a fizzing cross coming all the way back across the goal mouth. It was re-entered by Ubogagu, and a foul is called. So again, Sealy Strawn has been throwing herself around.
I was going to say the same thing. Sealy Strawn is not the tallest player on the pitch, but she brings the aggression. She's getting into everyone. She's not hesitating, and to be honest, as a forward, you don't mind that. You want your forwards that are going to work their tails off to defend, to pressure, to make the opponent's defense uncomfortable. And the only thing more uncomfortable than Sealy Strawn stepping into is that 9 minutes of stoppage time in a 2-1 game. If you're Tampa Bay, you're like, oh man, that's an overtime period essentially that we have to play of stoppage time.
Not shy off it. Tampa will have to earn this result in Texas. Steely-eyed gaze, though, nonetheless, by the gaffer. On the twists. Shimkin rolling along for Zayd. We'll see if she takes it toward the corner. Makes up her mind to get in the cross. Just off the hook. Stainbrook away. She's down. Advantage being played. Bellotta. And that foul is not something that can be ignored. And it will be a yellow card. That's to Jordan Listro. Team's leader in fouls committed this year. She'll get a booking for her troubles there, but probably a smart foul to give up. 7th yellow of the year for her.
Yeah, that is smart. There's so much time left in this game, and apparently it's not being called as a foul, though, but instead just a goal kick.
The ball was cleared all the way to the other end. There was the initial incident where the advantage was played. Thought they would get a second foul there when Bellotta was brought down, but that is not the case, and Dallas soldier on.
Now for Tampa Bay also needing to be smart because they do have a couple of yellow cards. Listro, of course, with her just picking up another, but you do want to make sure you're playing smart, not picking up that second yellow. This game, the way it's going in terms of intensity, could become a bit chippy at times or physical, so just you want to make sure you don't have any players caught up in that.
Typically, you'd only really be worrying about that in reference to the next game, but with so much stoppage time, it'd be very difficult to go down to 10 and see this all the way out. That was creative. Clearly not affected by the moment or the sun.
Nice flip throw there by Zayd. Jordan Zayd took her time, and it's something that as a player you always try when you're especially younger to see if you can be able to do it. But it's such an advantage when you have a big thrower like that in Zayd that can put the ball deeper into the field.
Is there any strategic advantage in that, or was that just showing off a little bit for the cameras?
Well, actually, it does add a little extra momentum to the throw if you think of like the science behind it.
Sure.
I'm not an expert on that either, but and I could never do it. But it does add a little extra muscle and oomph to your throw if you add a flip it to it first. And so you saw the deep throw that she had. So yes, definitely.
Ubogagu could not conjure that final action. I've never seen that in a game.
I was going to say, you seem like this is your first time.
Yes, can't confirm. I'm at a loss for words.
Add that into the stats.
In a 1-goal game, in stoppage time, Unbothered.
There's nothing wrong with just being able to add extra aspects into the game. You need all the little nooks and crannies to be able to help close out a game like this. Whatever works.
Not to over-index, but for a Tampa team who's had a really long season in their title defense, it's just good to see that in a very tense situation, maybe lightening the mood a little bit.
You are really in awe by this.
Yes, I am.
It's like a normal throw.
There was nothing normal about that. A back handspring.
Guys, Peyton just saw his first flip throw, and he's losing his mind, but we're trying to calm him down in the booth.
Hoop mixtape. Yeah, there is a game on.
Yes. And a lot of time still left, actually. This stoppage time is crawling along.
There was a bump. It's caught the referee's attention, and the physio will be brought on. I think this might be at risk of a potential head injury.
Yeah, and you definitely have to stop the match first and foremost as a player is down with a clear collision to the head or neck area. And also just the way that she's fallen, very concerning. I'm not sure exactly which player that is. It's hard to see the number. My initial thought is it maybe McNeil, but
I think that is correct. The initial goal scorer here tonight. And all this time will be accounted for. We will go beyond the bounds of the 9 minutes and enter into 100-minute territory here on the evening.
This is a look back at what happened, and not only was it a collision, but the way she spun is very concerning too. A lot of times any sort of head injuries are not just the initial impact, but the way that you fall, lose control of your body, and spin out of control there, like we saw Sabrina McNeil do. So very concerning when you look at the replay, but fortunately she's back up on her feet and with assistance is being helped out. So that's encouraging that she's able to stand up on her own.
Now Tampa are out of subs, but in the case of a potential head injury, an extra one is made available to both teams. It does look like, for the time being though, McNeil has passed all the checks and will remain in the game. And again,
she's definitely going to have to at least step off initially though, even if she's able to stay in play, because the game stopped and a trainer had to come on the field. She's got to start off the field. So just these are the little details, Peyton, that have to be squared away. And now, as you mentioned, the 9 minutes of stoppage time, it's 9 and counting, that we're going to still have more time added on.
And this is a countermeasure to prevent exactly what some of those boos were probably suspecting in and around the ground, and that's time wasting. At the full gate, into the box was Guidry, who rips down the Tampa player. That one about as well as Tampa could have hoped for, as they'll get McNeil back on the field almost instantly.
Well, Cindy Nacello, not only a great attacker, but her defense, look at this pace, 2 quick players just racing to get that one, and Nacello able to outrun Guidry there, beats her to it, and then draws the foul. And I mentioned it earlier in talking about Celie Strawn, but it's such a benefit when you have forwards that are comfortable defending and want to defend the way that players like Sydney Nacello are capable of.
We're pressing up towards the 100th minute. Only 5 Super League matches ever have transgressed across that threshold. It looks like we will add another to these young annals of history in the division as Tampa take it towards the end line and take it towards the finish line.
I can tell you that it gets exhausting when the clock hits over 100 minutes. As if it's not a lot of running to begin with. You add and make it a 100-minute match, you are physically, mentally drained afterwards. So these last minutes, I say that to say, this game, since it's not over, you really have to mentally as much as physically stay locked in to see this one through.
Tampa do have a little bit of history past the 100th minute. I'll let you fill in the blanks there.
Maybe some championship history, too.
Yeah, maybe.
So what you're saying is when Tampa Bay gets into the 100-minute mark of a game, good things happen for them.
Not saying that.
History has shown.
Sources are saying. They're so close, Tampa Bay Sun, to their first pair of consecutive victories. And what has been an up and down 2026, the flag will go up for offside. Again, because of the head injury to Sabrina McNeil, in this period, we should expect at least another 60 seconds beyond this 9 allotted.
Yeah, that's also tricky because you just have no idea how much time truly is left. So you have to play very urgent here and make sure that you're playing quick but getting a good opportunity to get another shot on net, as Stainbrook is down holding the back of her head after a collision. So we might be adding more time to our added time to our stoppage time.
Yes.
If you're still with me there.
Yes. I was checking the math.
Yes. Taking a look back at this, you see there's the forearm. It's actually McNeil, who was just down with the head injury, that now collides with Stainbrook. So she's going to step off for a moment.
So this is interesting. Do you bring the goalkeeper forward here?
I would definitely. At this point, I would actually have McKinney take this and let everybody else get forward, because we just don't know how much time is left. There could be 30 seconds. There could be 3 minutes. We don't know. So you have to assume that this could be the last. Every play could be the last.
We're already one body shy with Stainbrook out of the game. Here it comes. Is there late drama in Dallas? Not there. Overcooked the whole way.
Unfortunate. We've seen that from, honestly, the opening parts of this game for Dallas. Their services, their corner kicks, their opportunities to play the ball into the box haven't found a teammate's a bit too heavy on those final services, and that's the execution piece. The ideas are there, the opportunities are there, they just haven't been able to seize them.
Thudded away. Tick, tick, tick. Unable to keep it on is freshly rejoined Stainbrook, and it will be a throw-in for Tampa Bay. In the closing sequences now, maybe one last push for the home side. They thought they had it. That penalty from Amber Wisner, it looked like it was home and hose, that they would at least get a point potentially from this. Massive error at the back that resulted in a quick strike. Carly Jamona goal is what currently has Tampa Bay on track for all 3 points, but it's not done yet. Sealy Strawn striking infield. What a ball! It gets away. Goalkeeper's out, wards it off. Allie Thornton never got full purchase. Now the cross coming in. It's blocked out for a corner. That was the chance. And Allie Thornton looked like she flinched.
I'm not sure how she missed that, Peyton. That was a great ball in. That was the one that should have been the game-tying play.
It's not done yet. A cornerstone, Capital Bank corner. Ubogagu glanced away. Waiting on the whistle. The whistle. And Tampa turn up and take a second consecutive victory on the road. The champions have not quite let loose the grip on their crown yet.
And with that, Dallas now winless in 4, and that's 2 back-to-back losses. They had moments but didn't put together a full 100-plus minutes, whereas Tampa Bay capitalized on the opportunities they had, stepped up in the big moments when it was called upon, and did a great job of executing when it mattered most to win back-to-back games. And now Tampa Bay continuing to climb the tables.
An immense effort from the side from Florida as they will head home with all 3 points in hand. We will pick through the bones when we return. Final score, Tampa Bay Sun 2, Dallas Trinity 1.
Dallas Trinity dallas-trinity-fc is built for this city.
Catch every match free over the air on KFAA 29 and streamed live on WFAA Plus.
All the energy in action. Come see us at the Cotton Bowl or watch us play on KFAA 29 and WFAA Plus. Join us every match, every moment. We'll see you on the pitch.
Great work starts with a great workspace. That was the idea behind the original Veridesk, and it's the inspiration behind everything we do. From our latest standing desks and ergonomic seating to free shipping and fast assembly. We create a workspace that works for you, so you can feel your best and do your best. Start your office upgrade today.
Sport is for everyone, but too often the moment slips away. Here Sport brings live, audio-described, multilingual commentary straight to your phone. So every play, every call, and every cheer is there for everyone. Trusted by clubs and fans, simple, instant, and accessible. Here Sport, live sport.
What might be a season-flipping result for Tampa Bay Sun. Here on the road in the heart of Texas, they take it 2-1. The reigning champs over Dallas Trinity, making consecutive victories for the first time this year. We're now joined by Carly Jamona, who got the defining tally in this game. Carly, what's it about this Dallas Trinity team that has you playing at your best 3 consecutive games against them now with a goal, and a goal that might change the course of your guys' campaign?
Yeah, I think it just was all about the team in that one. It was a good team performance, and we put in the work, and we had a lot of grit, so we were able to get the win.
Carly, your season right now, anything is possible. What can you tell us about the belief of this group that you've now been able to get 2 back-to-back wins to continue your fight up this table in terms of standings?
Yeah, it's definitely been a tough year for us, just trying to gain momentum, and I think we're gaining it at the right time now, so it's looking up for us, and we're excited for our next game.
For you, Coach Denise Schulte-Brown has talked a lot about how the level in terms of the character of the group hasn't dropped at all throughout this troubling season that's tested you guys a lot, just in terms of being able to come on the road and get results not only in this game, but against DC as well. Is that a testament to how much character this squad truly has?
Yeah, definitely. It's a squad that never gives up. We're going to keep fighting till the end, and we showed that in both of these games, so we're excited.
Carly, thank you. Enjoy this one.
Thank you.
The highlights from the game that was, you will see Carly Jamona, but not immediately. This was a brilliant piece of play by Tampa Bay Sun that got them up and running. It would be Sabrina McNeil who would sign the final signature on this at the doorstep, but this is a team goal in every way.
Absolutely, Peyton. It took a great first touch to open up the C, and just a wide open green space. McNeil's able to attack to find Pokorny, who then finds Weber, back to McNeil into the back of the net. And then this game wasn't done yet in terms of scoring. How about this work by Chioma Bogogu to be able to go 1v2, split a pair of Tampa Bay defenders, draw the penalty kick with the end line service to set up for her teammate and captain Amber Wisner to step up for the penalty kick and put it away. Tied up late in the game. grab your popcorn. The drama was just getting started. We had plenty of soccer left to play. 10 minutes later, it's a giveaway by Dallas on a miscue out of the back, and then the super sub in Carly Jamona, another substitution goal for Tampa Bay, back-to-back games. Carly Jamona comes in, makes the game-winning play, as that goal would be the final that would lead Tampa Bay to win their second consecutive game as their playoff pushes on.
And Tampa were good for it, even though they were enduring so much pressure in the second half. They generated the best chances of the night, and Dallas were just a little bit biteless throughout.
Without a doubt, and Tampa Bay, you look at those stats, they, of course, the goal is the most important, but got outshot 15-11, had 5 shots on target, though, so speaks volumes to the quality of what they were able to execute and contribute in terms of their final third attack, and then also possession in favor of Dallas. But Tampa Bay, despite all the odds, still found a way to win, and now, Peyton, look at the standings.
The gap is not that big. Out of 9th now, Tampa Bay. A journey of a million steps, a million miles starts with one stride. They have now made 2 back-to-back, winning these games, and only that handful of 8 points off the line with enough runway. This is possible for them at this point.
It is. They're now 1 point shy of Brooklyn FC, and they needed to string together consecutive wins, several of them, about 7 wins they needed prior to that DC Power game, and it all was one game at a time. Well, they've got 2 down and more to go, but Tampa Bay continues to climb the table as Dallas-Trinity-FC, without a point, stays still in that number 4 spot above the playoff line, holding on by 3 points.
If DC Power can get a result in their next one, the pressure will really turn up for Dallas. But for tonight, our game is in the books. Tampa Bay Sun come on the road and gut it out over Dallas Trinity by a final factor of 2-1. For our entire casting crew and my partner Renee Washington, folks, I've been Peyton Galler. It's been a pleasure to bring this one to you from the Cotton Bowl. We will talk to you soon. The USL Gamebridge Super League season rolls on. More to come as we head down the stretch.
This copyright